I'm Darren the Magic Ghostbuster. Now this video is a little bit different from what I normally review. Normally it's Ghostbuster stuff. In this I'm looking at the Audio Ape. So this video might not interest a lot of my regular viewers and subscribers. The Audio Ape is a music remote system for performers. I am a performer, I'm a magician. I travel around a lot doing stage shows, particularly holiday parks around the UK. And this is basically a music player that plugs in and I can control it with a remote. Now this is nothing new. I've been using different remotes for years that have not been incredibly reliable. I've used like lots of different ones. I guess the two I remember most are a cheap Bluetooth one. What was you expecting with that? And the iNav, which was a popular one. God, trying to think how old that was now, but was using that for a while. But you know, when they work, but half the time I just found you press the button and nothing would happen. So I thought this year I'll try this. I've had this since the beginning of the year. I wanted to road test it really before actually talking about it on YouTube. And it's been really good so far. Really good. I have no complaints, but I'm going to tell you about it in depth. So this is what it comes as. There is a dent on there. That's not how it comes. I've just done that from, probably not treating it good enough. It was in another case and something lent on it. But it just shows how sturdy it is. Didn't damage anything inside, and it is only a small dent. It hasn't cracked the case or anything. But that is the case it comes in. And then if we open it up, here is what you get. So you get the main unit. You get the remote. Now I did buy the extra battery bank, which is their own battery bank, and it doesn't actually come with it standard. You can just plug it into a USB plug or use any battery bank, I guess, but I just thought, I wasn't buying it, I'll just buy their one. And then you get some other bits as well. So the music you upload onto the player with it runs on an SD card, micro SD card, so you get this USB thing to plug that into your computer. And then there is one of those things that turns your micro SD card into a big SD card in here somewhere. And then you get some cables for connecting it to the battery bank. And yeah, and that's everything you've got. That is the battery that the remote runs on. Didn't come with any batteries. Did it have a battery inside the remote? I actually can't remember. It might have had a battery inside the remote. Don't quote me on that. I may be remembering wrong. Oh yes, and that's it. That's the for turning your micro SD into an old-fashioned SD for plugging it into your laptop. One issue I did have when it's arrived, the SD card was corrupted, so I was putting my music on. It has to be WAV format. The music wasn't playing. It was like, I can't remember how it was going there. It was playing, but it was really weird sounding. And Audio Ape were really quick to respond. They said it's a corrupted SD card. They sent me another one. So they were very quick with that. But let's take a quick look at this. So this is the unit. I actually stuck a bit of Velcro on the back of this and the back of my battery pack, just so I can keep them together easier, really, rather than having loads of different things flinging around. But yeah, you plug your battery pack into there and plug that into there, and then automatically comes on once the battery's on. And then, of course, you can you have a 3.5mm jack there. No, is that 3.5? I'll get confused with all the bloody names. I'm not the most technical person, but you get your standard headphone socket size there for plugging into the sound system. And again, I've had no issues with any sound systems around the UK. It's always sounded good. So what I like about this, previous Audio Apes, they plugged into your iPads or tablets or whatever, and you controlled it from there. This is literally just a standalone music player, which is really good. So you have different options here. So go to SD card. You can either format your SD card or go to playlists. So you have to create playlists, basically, and you have to number the playlists. So if you have song titles, let's just say you have Ghostbusters, and that's your first song, you'd have to start it with number 1. And say you had Ghostbusters 2 as your second song, you'd have to number that 2, just play them in order. But yeah, you click your thing, press play. It has a nice big number there showing the numbered track, and it does have the song title at the top in smaller lettering. And then press your remote, and that will trigger it playing. And it's quite a long track, this, but you'll see the green bar going across, showing you how much progress is made. And you can skip that anytime just by pressing the skip forward, and you'll see that happens. It will fade the song out, so it won't just immediately stop. and then get ready for track 2. And then again, if you want, when you want to play track 2, press it and it will start playing. So it's very simple to use. What I also like about this is a little light on top of the remote. So if I just press button, I don't know how that's going to show up on the camera. I've just paused that. But the light comes on to indicate that this has actually received the signal. So, you know, if you press it and the light doesn't go off, you know there's a problem, basically. Whereas before, you know, with my iNav, you pressed it and you're like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's someone on the sound disc, if it's my player, or anything like that. Now, obviously, I'm pressing this very, very close to here. But I've used this in big venues across the country. Some, the sound desk has been, you know, next to the stage. Some, it's been right at the back of the venue. And I've had one issue, and that was down to me not changing a battery. But other than that, I've not had one failure with this at all. And I'm incredibly happy with it. It's an expensive bit of kit, no doubt. But like I said, I'm very happy with it. Not had any unreliable issues or anything like that. There was, like I said, one thing I just forgot to change the battery. And that's, I guess that's one little nitpick. There's no indicator or to show how much power is left in the battery on here. I think I did about 30 shows before that happened. I think I should have kept track more. I think it was about 30 shows I got out of it before, and it just wasn't working, basically. Pressing it and nothing happened, and yeah, it turns out the battery was the issue. To change the battery, I did find that a little bit fiddly to get this out. So what I actually do is I put a little pin in my case, so I can just sort of push the battery out. Just a little tip there. But yeah, so I would change that regular just to be safe, because you don't want it. You know, you could test it, because I always do a test of it before I go on stage. Even if I don't have the music playing, I just make sure like it's actually working with the system and like skipping tracks. And that's what I did when I did have that failure. And then of course when I went on stage, didn't work. If I remember right, the opening track worked, and then just silence after that. And I felt really sorry for the sound people, because they thought it was their fault. They were like, they come up to me after and was so apologetic, like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to your sound. I'm like, it was my remote, I don't apologise. But yeah, so change it regular. I mean, I probably had this, because I bought this just after Christmas, you know, which was the quiet time for me. So it was probably about a month before I actually used it in a show anyway. I don't use it for my kids' parties or anything like that, because I normally just have the music on a, you know, on a pad and all that. I don't need to be away from it. I only really keep this for holiday parks and things like that. So it does have to be in WAV format. And I only do basic stuff with it, really. I just skip tracks as needed and press play. I know it can do a lot more complicated things. I think when you plug it into a laptop, you can control video and all this sort of stuff. I don't know a lot about that, so it's not something I really know about. I could tell you about, but I know it does a lot more. I've got simple needs, and it works 100% of the time when it's got power. So yeah, I can't recommend it enough, really. I'm very happy with it. One thing I'm thinking about getting for next year is the ankle remote, which is like a magnetic thing. So when the remote comes in contact with a magnet, you'd have them on your ankles, I guess. Touch them together. I've never actually used something like that before, so I'm going to do a little bit more research into it. They do have a support group, Audio Ape Support, on Facebook, where people, you know, ask questions and stuff. So I'll probably check on there just to see what people's experiences are with that. But that's something I'm thinking next year, just to go completely hands-free. Although I'll keep this by the side just as a backup, just in case. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. If you're thinking about it, I know there's other systems out there. I think Media Monkey was one of them. There's a few now. So I can't comment which is best. I have no idea. I'm sure there's people that can tell you that. All I can say is I've been using this and I love it. I've not had a problem with it. So if you're thinking about it, I highly recommend it. Like I said, totally reliable and never had an issue over long distances controlling my sound. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you have advice for anyone else on this, particularly when it comes to the more advanced stuff that I know nothing about, it's not something I'm going to use, but if you know more about that, please comment and maybe you can help someone else. But anyway, thanks for watching, and if you like Ghostbusters, subscribe. If you don't like Ghostbusters, probably not many more videos I'm going to be doing that will be of interest to you. So maybe don't subscribe in that case. But anyway, thanks for watching, and keep on busting.